Thanks for tuning in to Dialled-in-Travel, a new show where we speak to industry leaders, creatives, and innovators about their insider picks to exciting global destinations. Recorded on location at each destination. At the end of every episode, you'll find their recommendations and tips, all pinned on a digital map to inspire your next trip. Visit urbanjunkies.com for the digital map and more, and follow us here or wherever you get your podcasts from. Welcome back to Dialed In Travel. This week, we've mixed up our format a little bit to produce a packed Lisbon special, speaking to 4 different Portuguese creatives. First up, we go to the neighborhood of São Bento, just off Hipster Square, Praça das Flores, to speak to João Magalhães Correia, an awarded Portuguese chef who spent 8 years in Milan, is the founder of 2 of Lisbon's hottest restaurants, Bar Alimentar and Tricky's, and a partner in the excellent cocktail bar Furia to get his bar and restaurant recommendations. We then catch up with Lisbon's most effortlessly connected man, Eduardo Marecos Duarte, who was previously the head of Soho House's Cities Without Houses in Lisbon, and is now the head of marketing and culture for the new Standard Hotel in Lisbon, about his culture picks, including the best times to visit, great museums, and neighborhoods to hang out in. After that, we head over the bridge to find nightlife queen Ana Fernandes, who spent several years in New York City working in fashion and nightlife before she returned to open the New York-style Burger Queens of Caparica restaurant, bar, and event space to get her nightlife picks and talk about local music genres. We then put a quick call in to creative director, fashion designer, and most recently, Wellbeing enthusiast Magas to get his fitness recommendations. And he gives us a few local fashion tips as well. And lastly, with my Urban Junkies trend and editorial hat on, I talk about the current hotel landscape in Lisbon, what's here and what's coming. We pack a lot in with incredible insight from truly outstanding insiders. Sound good? Then come with me over to Lisbon and let's get dialed in. For a bit of context, let's start with some background information on Lisbon. In 2025, it was recorded that the population of Lisbon was approximately 575,000, with 3 million within the greater metropolis. It's a relatively small town that's one of the oldest cities in the world, and it's the second oldest capital city in Europe, with Athens being the first. Located on the Tagus River, with nearby beaches being on the Atlantic, the sea is central to the lifestyle here. Other things to note? The airport is a very convenient 15 minutes from the city center, and the beaches are about the same. Uber and Bolts are extremely reasonable, and English is spoken almost everywhere, but a bit of Portuguese goes a long way with the locals, of course. As for what to wear, the 7 Hills means you need shoes with a grip to walk around in, seriously. The Atlantic's always quite fresh, so bring a wetsuit if you're looking to surf. If you're heading to the beach, bring a jacket no matter what time of year. And if it rains, it can be extremely torrential, so pack an umbrella. It's a city on the move, and there's never been a better time to visit. Now let's get started. We're at Bar Alimentar, a restaurant that's so du jour that they had 400 on the wait list last weekend, to catch up with its founder, João, to get his recommendations for all things wining and dining in Lisbon. João, hi. Welcome to Dialed In Travel.
How are you?
I'm good. Yes, thank you so much for having us today. It's always a good time to be in Bar Alimentar. First of all, I trust your taste implicitly. I love how you have high-low, which I have to say, like, our readers are like that. You don't always want to be somewhere 5-star or whatever, you know. One thing, actually, before we get into your guide, tell me about the Lisbon landscape of restaurants. Like, I feel there's so much hype about Lisbon right now, not only in Europe, but globally. And I think especially for hotels, but also really for restaurants. Like, I didn't know that there was a World Culinary Award, and they named Lisbon the best culinary destination in Europe. And, you know, I was looking, and 15 1-stars, 2 2-stars here. What do you think about the restaurant scene here?
I think that there are a lot of things that are very good and very well done. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of figures that I think that are at the same level as everything else in the world. There is, and that is great. A lot of people like me that went abroad, studied, worked abroad, came back to do amazing stuff. On the other side, the globalization part has made that obviously there is a lot of investment coming into Lisbon, and so a lot of power to open restaurants and like that. but that not necessarily have a lot of quality, unfortunately. But this is something that comes with any big city that is growing. So there's volume, there's money, there's speed. But on the other side, I do believe that we are next to the sea that brings beautiful fish. We have a culture of seafood. We have a culture of meat. There's a lot of variables that honestly I think that makes a Portuguese food scene very, very interesting.
Cool. And I mean, maybe I'll get shot for saying this, but I think this city needs some things. Like there is room for growth.
Of course.
And I think that's a really great place to be because there's opportunity here.
I agree.
So you're seeing not just kind of like, oh, it's another restaurant. Like people are kind of bored in big cities. Every day there's 10 new restaurants. Whereas here, I think you could say like there are gaps in the market.
There are.
You know?
I agree, Taryn. I agree with that a lot. I never wanted to, and that I agree with you. I'm going to get shot because I always was like, I think that there is a part of people that live abroad and live other cities that comes immediately and says like, okay, this is missing, and I know Portuguese can be very defensive in that, which I'm not super defensive. I see it also, but I do believe that we also have a very specific consumers market, and so some things that we believe that are missing sometimes they don't work here. I'm gonna tell you like one that I remember always, which is like fish and chips.
Okay.
Because it would be like best fish.
Yeah.
I mean, people love the fried fish here, but it's because it's like a kind of a pick and go. People Portuguese don't do a lot of pick and go. They don't. No. Not coffees, not food.
No.
So it's something that. I mean, but overall, I do believe that there are a lot of opportunities, and I can say that one of the things that Tricky's and Bar Alimentar did, and Imprensa and Furia, was kind of like figuring out this kind of matrix of consumption, which is very good quality, but also very fun concepts that mix. You know, like that is like, okay, we are here having very good food, and then suddenly the music is super loud, and we're doing shots on a place that is also considered one of the best restaurants. You know, like, so that was also like something that we saw as an opportunity that in other countries was already something that people were doing. So yes, but I do agree with you. There is space for new things.
Now, Lisbon recommendations. So I'm going to ask you a category, basically, if you could give me one place and a why. Okay. Favorite place for a weekend lunch?
Okay, weekend lunch, Pascarnit. That one you already know.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah, I love that one.
I do too.
Outside of the city center, you go into this like area that is still Lisbon, but it feels like you're in Alentejo. Fair prices, great service, the great quality of products.
It's also hard, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, to find somewhere to eat outside in like a square, or there are not that many places like that.
True. And so there is like a whole life.
It's very cool. Casual weeknight dinner.
I like Schizo. I think it's non-complicated. Food tastes well. Service is always great. Good wines.
Great neighborhood.
Great neighborhood.
Somewhere fun for dinner.
I have to say that Tricky's might be the most fun place to have dinner.
Yes. Do you know what? When the dessert came out and it had, let's call it tinsel on it, I mean, I was sold. Okay, somewhere to celebrate.
Somewhere to celebrate. I went not long ago to Barbella, and I had a really good time.
Okay,
I had a really good time.
Good. I love how that is styled in the front window.
It's beautiful.
Very like Damien Hirst.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Somewhere local, but if you could give me one that's more of like a Tasca, and one that's more if you were going to go out with your family for something.
Yes, I understand. So like more like a Tasca, I would say there's this place that I love. I think it's still to this day one of the best quality for price. It's called, in my neighborhood where I grew up, it's called Oquista.
Ooh.
So like this for people that are like me from Benfica and that also support the football team Benfica.
Okay.
This is also where
learning football today.
This is also where like the managers and people like that go.
Okay.
Amazing seafood, unassuming. I think the whole menu from top to bottom is really good. So I go there. It's a very, very special place for me. It's a very special place for me. I mean, then I guess like that's the thing with the popular food. I don't know so much when they do like the high type.
We can pass.
Okay, but I can tell you like.
I thought you might say Gambrinus. Sure, is that no?
Because Gambrinus is a yes. Gambrinus is for sure yes. For sure yes. But if I have to say, if we were to change it a little bit, there is this place where I think it's like the best prego. It's called Boa Esperança, prego being the beef sandwich. And Oquista is a little bit higher on the price and
Okay.
service. So
Great.
between Boa Esperança and Alquista.
Oh my God, this is the hit list I needed. Somewhere that you think they're doing something really interesting.
Okay. Something really, really, really interesting. I have to say, it might not be new. It might not be new. It might
Doesn't have to be
sometimes
new.
because of the years that has been open. Some people sometimes overlook it, but I do believe that Prado still does like the way they treat the ingredient, the way they create plates. I still believe it's one of the restaurants that is more interesting. But just the way they also like propose the menu, wines, foods. It's very, very, very interesting.
Okay, cool. And what about any hotel? Because in big cities, hotel culture is big, and here it's not to date. Really, are there any restaurants and hotels that no?
I honestly, I think when we were talking about gaps.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally, I don't know. I mean, there was Cura in the Ritz.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Michelin star, but
yeah.
like it goes more in that direction
Yeah.
of like the super fine dining.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I didn't. I thought you might say that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one which I had lovely meal there. But still, it's more like it's a special occasion. It's I don't know, hotel culture.
Not here yet.
Yeah.
Any chef that you think is a one to watch? Like, are there any like kids coming up or anyone that you think like just you have your eye on at all?
Look, I think I mean, if I was to say, I mean, it's absolutely no surprise because no surprise for anybody. But I think Zé from Velho Rico is exceptional. Yeah, they're doing Portuguese, reinvented Portuguese. Traditional Portuguese, I think it's Zé Paulo is on another level and will achieve many things.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that comes up in every single publication.
And honestly, deserves.
Yeah.
It's not like sometimes some things appear from the hype. Not the case.
Yeah, somewhere with a great wine list.
Okay. Rosie's.
Rosie's, amazing.
Yes.
I love that neighborhood
gorgeous.
too.
It's gorgeous. Also, like it's something that I say in the best of ways. It only has very good products. And it's something
edited,
like
right?
It's
like,
everything is curated to this level. Sophie is very special, and so she curates it very, very, very naturally. But also, like I mean, everything like you go there for cheese, salumi, whatever. Everything is just curated very specially.
Somewhere with exceptional cocktails.
I think Furia is the best place for
sure. It is
sure.
the best place.
I think Furia is the best place. Where did I had very good cocktails at Catfish.
Catfish?
It's in Praça da Alegria.
Okay.
So
I
very,
like that.
very, very. I still remember I had this. It's like a kimchi cocktail with a gherkin. It was spectacular.
Are there any food markets that you think have like a really great local restaurant or?
I have to say that we've been doing this as Bar Alimentar. We've been doing this food market, which is here next to Praça das Flores. And I believe that it has been the curation of the people that they invite has been very good. I mean, from restaurants to producers, wine sellers, cocktail. I mean, and it has become something that's
it has a vibe.
It has a vibe, and it's been growing up. It's been growing up, and I mean, every time now that we go there, we sell out of food. So I think people are. I think it's something that probably, if it will continue to happen, I think it will grow.
Yeah. Again, the collaboration, you guys all coming together for that. What must people try before they leave here? And not a pastel de nata or a bifana, like something.
So I think, and although I believe that this is something that presses a lot, especially to the UK, but also Australia, we have a lot of the frango piripiri. So like the chicken with Nando's and all that. But I have to say, like I'm very passionate about grilled chicken. So I mean, so I would say like find a nice. I mean, Churrasqueira da Paz over there. I mean, there's like some classic spots that like will serve you that. And I have to say, in Alquista, the place that I recommended before, they call the jaquinzinhos with the arroz de tomate, and this is like a very small, almost illegal to catch fried fish with tomato rice, and this is something that is close to my heart and very typical of this area.
Okay, that was a good call. I like it.
Thank you.
Seasonal. Is there a good time of year to come here for a foodie?
Yeah, I would say or pre or post summer. So like something in the spring that the weather is good. There's a lot of fish and
Sardine Fest.
I have to say, I mean, a lot of hate on the Sardine, but I love it. I mean, it's really good. I would say pre Santos, where Santos already happening a little bit, and then suddenly you're not with a lot of crowd, but still enjoying in the same way. It's nice.
Cool. João, thank you so much for being here with us today. So great to chat with you. Thank you.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Now it's a quick neighborhood hop where we found Man About Town Eduardo to chat about Lisbon's cultural offering with his tips and picks.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for having us today.
No worries. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so diving right in. When you first arrive in Lisbon, is there anywhere you can look that's in English just to kind of get some idea of what's on?
So Lisbon, you don't have this kind of go-to place that you can go, like a newsletter or newspaper. Or what I do recommend to people is to research a lot in Instagram. So you go to Instagram and you kind of research, and it's very easy to research and see and just like trust a bit your instincts. But like Instagram will give you like good results if you like take your time to research it. Also, Lisbon is one of the few cities that when you walk in the city, especially in like the nice area, like cool areas, all the posters in the walls, they are from this week or next week. So it's like usually other cities like it's 1 year ago and so on, but Lisbon is quite on the spot.
No, and you're right. I think Instagram, you're right, especially if you know someone here, or you can start to kind of go down the Instagram trail
like, nowadays, like you always know someone that lives in Lisbon, so you go there and you just like try to pull the threads, and at some point you get one thread and like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, and you do it like this, and it's nice, and you can create more your style. And it's like the best one, because like I've tried, like a lot of people, especially with Soho House and members, like ask me like I'm visiting Lisbon, what to do. Like I have to know the person to then explain the person, like to create a bit. I can sometimes I imagine like what is the best way, and then usually I give them a spots like Casa Capital or another place, and then you can like research around the ecosystem in Instagram, and then you can go somewhere.
It's such good advice. I get asked all the time for restaurants or Ibiza, and it's so true. You need to know people's taste. You really have to ask like 10 questions. And then even then, like you can never really say, oh, this club is the best. You need to know who's playing and if they like, yes.
Yeah, and also Lisbon is not this, how everybody's going to be, this type of people are going to be this in Friday night or at this place. It's like, sometimes you tap into the network and you understand that, and if on a Friday it's going to be some people are going to be at this place because something is happening, or on that place you don't like, there's not a lot of people that go every Friday to the same place, so it's very fluid. So
I think too, because it's easier to get around here, that things happen quickly.
Very.
So someone can say, oh, come to this gallery, and next thing you know, it's kind of like house parties when you were young. All of a sudden everyone's there. But okay, now moving on. I think people watching is culture. And so with that, it's kind of one of the best things to do. Kind of one of the best things to do when you're traveling. You just walk around, right? So if you were to recommend a couple of neighborhoods that you think people should check out here, I mean...
Here for people watching, for sure, I'll go Anjos, Arroios, and Graça. Like for sure, they're all next to each other. And it's like where we see that the best looks and like all the more interesting people watching. And then, just gonna go like afternoon, I advise afternoon for a drink.
Okay.
And then just like Vino Vero or like kind of this like nice bar. And you just like can people watch there, and it's nice. And then you can later on go to a lot of restaurants, because all now like the cozy, like small restaurants are popping up there. They're all quite nice.
And you know what's nice here too is how casual people are. I think like hanging out is kind of on a park bench, you know, with some wine, which in those neighborhoods.
Then I go back in that, like for example now then Simus, which is like in Mirador Montagudo. So we have these like miradors with like this, because Lisbon is very hilly. So we have some parts with like nice views, so we call that Mirador. And now everyone is going to this one called Simus, which is Mirador Montagudo.
Okay.
And it's just like that. It's just like you sit in a bench and you just be there and just talk. But then we have a kiosk that sells you natural wine or like some beers and stuff.
And you know what? At places like that too, you'll kind of see someone arrive with portable DJ decks. Like everything is kind of ad hoc.
Like we don't know who's playing, because sometimes, it's nice. It's always like they bring a speaker, or some drums, and they
Yeah.
keep playing. It's nice.
And what about seasons? Lisbon, like any other city, has kind of, a time when you can come for art or fashion. Are there any weeks, let's start with art, that are, it's really good to come here if you're into art?
I think the best cultural moment for art and design now is Arco in the end of May. And it's the same week as Lisbon Design Week. So like I do recommend, especially if you like, there's a lot of Portuguese craftsmanship that's now migrating to design and design pieces. So there's a lot of ateliers here in Lisbon and people building because so it's going to be the last month of May, and it's like you can like they do such a nice work, Lisbon Design Week, because you can go there and get all these ateliers, so you can meet the artists and just visit everyone. So it's divided by neighborhoods, so you can like go one day to one neighborhood and visit like 5 ateliers, and then it's quite nice. Yes, and they do it. It's like a very relationship between the viewer and the artist, so it's nice. It's not like the other ones is like meant more for sale to sell, and this one is more like. It's more personal. I think it's like I like it more. Yeah, it's nice.
And how do you pay to go? Like, can anyone go?
No, you don't pay. This is they talk with all the artists who wants to join, and they curate a bit. And then artists they have the open studios, and they draw a map, so you can download the map. And then you just go and you just plan your trip around it. Of course, in these weeks we have a lot of parallel events, so like it's already off schedule. So like you go visit, and then we have, and these ones you need tickets and thing. But like for the main ones that you want to see just the artists and their studios, you can go anywhere.
It's
cool. Nice. It's like Lisbon Design Week website. Yeah.
And what about fashion?
Fashion. Yeah. So if you are around here for Fashion Week, they always throw a pop-up with all the designers, so you can go there. So if you are around and you just Lisbon Fashion Week Instagram, they will announce their pop-ups, and you can this is like the best way to see all the Portuguese designers.
Now onto museums. Like again, just like a very edited pick. If you were to say 3 museums, it could be for the building, it could be for whatever.
For me, one I think one obligatory. It's Gulbenkian.
I love that.
Yeah. And now they have the new one, the new one, which is they have the Center for Modern Art.
Okay.
So you can do both. I think it's a bit heavy to do both in one day. Also because the building is amazing, the garden, the history behind the building, everything is just amazing. And then if you are a bit tired, you can go to Undercover right next to it's like a bookshop and magazines. And it could be nice. It's like a nice touch, like if you want.
That sounds good. We like a gift shop, bookshop. That Gulbenkian though, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I went to some kind of music there as well.
Yeah. So we have
Really good.
So we have this like open air amphitheater that you can do a lot of. So they do a lot of programming. This is one website that I recommend also to look. And they have like classical music, opera, everything that you can see.
Which one's that? Which website?
Gulbenkian.
Oh, Gulbenkian. Okay, cool. Maybe that's one I bought a ticket on. All right. Anywhere else?
For another museums, I'll go. We have now the mood is getting better.
Yeah.
They open. I think they open a bit fast. Because it's like politics and everything. But I think it's getting better. But we get a sense of like Portuguese design, both the design and fashion design. So I do recommend to see if you're interested in this. Yeah, it's nice.
That location, it's right by the commerce.
There's a commerce. So it's like in the tourist way, and you can just go there.
They have a good bookshop.
Yes, and they have a nice rooftop.
Okay.
So you can go to the rooftop to just drink coffee and just have a nice view. Which
We
is
will
nice.
do well in museums together. Bookshop, bar. I like it. They just had a Westwood exhibition there, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And it's they always. I think they are doing more events there, and it's quite nice. Yeah.
And what about Matt? Is that
Matt? Yes, I do recommend Matt. But Matt is more like if you want to contemporary artists, and they all bring big names and amazing names, and even Portuguese names, and they always changing the exhibition. And I think they do well. One thing is that go to website of Matt, and if it's the opening, go there. It's open. Usually have wine, but a lot of but you'll see this kind of like Portuguese art scene that always go there to the opening.
I
So
love
it's like
that.
nice. It's good for people watching and meet the
Great.
people. Usually it's not invite only, so you can
Okay.
go. It's open to everyone, although there's not a lot. Yeah, so like if there's an opening, just go there and get a glass of wine and just like people watch and talk to someone.
Great.
And you get instant access to the like Lisbon art scene. It's good, nice.
That is such a good tip.
Yeah.
And also just walking along there.
Yes, and then you can
really good.
go. Usually it's like at 5, 6, so you can just walk in the river before and just you end up there.
Well,
It's
that's good.
nice.
Now into music. We're kind of like focused on the more traditional here. So I know Fado originated
Yeah.
in Lisbon, right? It was Portuguese
Yeah,
originated.
in Alfama, Moradia, yes.
Okay. And there seems like there's Fado on every corner. So there's obviously like good Fado and bad Fado.
Yeah,
Is that
it's-
right?
Yes, it's very Fado. Yeah, like Portuguese people don't usually,
Go.
unless
Oh.
you are from this Fado scene, which is very specific. We usually don't consume a lot. We consume like we did Carminho, the one we went to watch, and some like Anamora and all these like young Fado. But the traditional way of singing Fado, which is you do it over a dinner or a Fado house, and then you do sets of 4 songs, 5 songs, I think so. And then you have dinner, and then everyone gets quiet, and then Fado, and then
Okay, that's nice.
so
Break
yeah,
it
it's, break it up, and then it's like this. But this is Alfama. I would recommend like maybe start in Ginginha. You drink the Ginginha. It's also
yeah.
like
Is that the red one?
Yeah, the red
Yeah.
one. Also, it has a lot of to do with Fado and like the same.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And then you can go walk there. And then you walk to Alfama, and then you have a few Fado's houses that could be nice. If you want to go to the old traditional Fado's house, it's going to be Alfama. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. And what about a gig? Like I know you have the big concert places. What is it? Sagres, Campo Pequeño. I like that one. It looks
Yeah,
very nice. And then
yeah.
you have the bigger Mio Arena. But is there anywhere to go that like constantly will have some kind of more underground gig?
Yes. So I would recommend the Galeria ZDB, Zé dos Bois.
Okay.
It's in Bairro Alto, and they always have all these like kind of more niche bands playing.
Okay.
Now Casa Capitão, it's
Oh yeah.
with very nice programming. Beleza also, if you want, just check if you like and you go. But I have like amazing nights, and I also recommend to people. It's nice, so it's like more nice. Yeah, this tree will be enough for a week or like 3 days or 4 days. That's provide something that you like.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I haven't heard of any of those,
Yeah.
so I need to check it out. You might laugh at this one, but I was just trying to think of other fun things, and it is kind of cultural.
Mhm.
But what have you like? Are football games here fun?
Yes.
It's funny because I looked up. So one of your big clubs is Sporting,
Yeah.
and in London, by my house, there was this Portuguese restaurant that we loved. It was like very community, the kind of place that like had Christmas lights on all year round,
Yeah.
and they would do these barbecues with like little white tablecloths. But it was called Sporting Club.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
But we have ways of going to these. Like you can go there, but you can go to the kiosk before. So if you know someone from the Clax, the Juveleu, or some like, they will bring one, and you are in for a treat, and it's going to be nice. Yeah.
Ooh. Kiosk culture is like my
Yeah.
favorite thing here.
Yeah, there's a lot. You have a lot of gardens, and each gardens we have a kiosk, and you just sit down in the street because the weather is so good, and you just like drink a bit of beer or like wine and just be. There's a lot.
What about markets?
Yeah, you have the big one. This one, the market is going on for uninterrupted since the 12th century or something. So it's like you can find anything there.
Yeah.
So you find like lamps and everything. So we go there. It's like on Tuesdays morning and Saturdays morning. You have a market, o Mercado de Arroz, which is not a market like this, but it's like a market that they used to sell they sell everything, fish, flowers and everything. But I do recommend people to see it. And they have like a nice Portuguese record shop. And
What area is that?
Arroz.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah. I think now it was considered one of the coolest neighborhoods in
it?
the world.
What?
Yeah, like the Time Out ranking or something. Yeah,
I love these rankings. Yeah. All right, Eduardo, I always love sitting down with you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for the invitation. I hope it's helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Moving right along, we've now crossed the bridge and are in Costa Caparica to catch up with Anna to speak about Lisbon's nightlife and music scene.
Hi, Anna. Welcome to Dialed In Travel. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
If you could tell me, like, what are some of the highlights here? Is there anywhere you would recommend to dance, I guess?
Like Lux is the best club. The only really big club Their bookings are really good.
Very international too.
Yeah, I mean they're really good bookings, and they're very they're different. Every night is a different night. It really depends on what you like that night. But to me, Lux is, the place still. There's other things like Outra Cena for a little bit more Gen Z vibe.
Okay.
And a little bit, I guess, more LGBTQ friendly.
Okay.
More of a safe space, I guess. But Lux, yeah, to me is legendary. Also, there's a lot of small little parties, like boutique parties and bars, like audiophile bars that are cool, like Boa Vista Social Club, Vago. Vago is really nice.
Lux is a large club, and
Yeah.
like any club, you have to check the night to make sure
Yeah.
you like what they're playing. And yeah, you just mentioned Vago, and Vago is a lot smaller,
Yeah.
very intimate. And how about getting into any of these places? Because I always see the biggest queue at Vago, Lux as well. So what is entrance at kind of?
Yeah, also there's Vago and there's Lisa next door. Vago is the audiophile bar. Lisa is more of the dance kind of party
Okay.
vibe. Getting in, huh?
Is everything
I'm-
guest list or how
I don't
does it
know.
work? You don't know, yeah.
I've paid my dues, so
Okay,
I
yeah,
do not wait in
exactly.
line. I'm too old to wait in line.
Yes.
So,
yes, yeah.
people,
They can figure it out.
They can figure out who I am. If not, I am not waiting in that line.
It's true.
I didn't wait in New York, and I'm not going to wait here. I just don't wait lines.
Okay, so in terms of hearing great electronic music, you would say Lux. What other types of genres of music are really big right now in Lisbon?
So the Afro culture is really big, and there's Afro house,
Okay.
which is massive in Portugal, especially in Lisbon. Like Príncipe Records is a super important label. They're doing really different things with amazing DJs that are actually becoming international stars. And the Afro house scene is it's something that is nowhere else.
Really?
And the first time I ever heard it, I was blown away by it. I did not expect it. I did a party for NTS radio, and they actually did the bookings, and I just helped with promotion and production. I had just gotten to Lisbon, and yeah, there was these DJs, and I was just like, what is this?
What?
This is so insane. Yeah.
Okay. I thought Black Coffee and stuff was Afro
No.
house. No?
No.
Wrong.
No.
What's
Black Coffee is super commercial.
Okay.
He's so
Okay,
commercial.
okay.
It's not even funny.
Okay. Okay.
No,
No, I just meant I thought as a genre though.
No.
Of it.
And it's even kind of music where you would think that is Afro. They call it Afro house, but it's not. It's maybe Afro minimal.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, their music is so
pop almost.
minimal.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is thumping.
Okay.
This is very African. And it's also house music comes from a lot of African
Of course.
beats. And so yeah, this is taking it to a really interesting way that no one's doing. No one in the world.
And where can you go in Lisbon to listen to that, do you think?
So Príncipe Records, they do parties.
venue, okay.
Yeah. Venues, sometimes they get booked. Lux books them sometimes. But yeah, they throw their own parties. They throw a lot of underground parties. There's also another genre which is pretty big here. It's the Brazilian sound.
and so many
and-
Brazilians here, that makes sense.
Yeah, and there's Beleza that does a lot of parties. On Sunday they have a roda de samba, which is all these musicians play in a circle, and they just play, music, and everyone just goes crazy and sings and dances. It's really cool.
Oh, wow. That sounds very cool.
It is very cool.
Another thing, you just said kind of music, which I know isn't what we were talking about, but I meant to ask you about the yard, just in terms of venues.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. It's a white sand dune because it
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Yeah, it's exactly what that is.
It's a white sand dune,
And
but it's very big, right? How
Yeah.
many people go to parties there?
Like thousands.
Thousands, right?
Thousands, yeah.
And it does seem to be one of the only places I've seen here that's charging kind of Ibiza style. Like I looked at a ticket once and it was 185 euros
Yeah.
for like that was just normal entrance, I think.
Well, when you have DJs like, you know, the kind of music guys who charge a lot of money, they have to like kind of recharge a lot of money for tickets.
Yeah.
But you know, they're pretty full, those parties. And the Yard is a really, really special place, I think. It's just beautiful. It's super unique.
Are there any other unique venues that you can think of here?
I like experimental music. So I like Cosmos. And it's like an old apartment.
Okay.
And they make like,
I think we were supposed to film there today.
it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. It's super cool. Yeah, it's just like, it looks like an old apartment. There's like pool
Okay.
tables. Yeah, they're always playing like, you know, they have like different types of musicians playing just like really strange and experimental music, as opposed to just like, you know, the regular,
Okay.
like, you know, hippy dippy.
Yeah. Well, that's a good top tip because those are the type of things you don't read about in guidebooks, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. Cosmos is great. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Anna.
Time to call creative director, fashion designer Magas, who is usually Lisbon-based but is currently spending some time in Rio, to get his well-being recommendations with a little fashion thrown in. Hi, Magas. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today. Hi. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
I am so happy that you were able to speak to me today because I absolutely love your approach to well-being. I feel you are fun, you are upbeat, you're committed, and I feel like the kind of teasing that you do on Instagram, showcasing your kind of daily fitness travels, yeah, it's really like touching people in the right way. You're poking fun at those who might be a bit less motivated. But I think in turn, you are, I mean, especially to me, I would say becoming like such a motivator to get out there and work out.
I'm poking fun at people who aren't motivated and also at those who are overly motivated.
Yes, yes.
Because I think it's good to if you want to motivate people, especially someone like me, you know, I'm a real person with lots of sides to my personality, and I don't think it's sort of beneficial to try and come across as this like god who has
Yes.
lived the perfect life and
Yes.
you know only drinks green juice and wakes up very early. I do wake up very early. Sometimes I go to bed quite late. So I think it's important. And everyone has that like inner voice inside them that says, "No, why aren't you working out more? Shame on you for going to bed late last night." Blah blah. So I think it's fun to play around with that concept of like the devil and the angel kind of thing.
But that's what I love. And that's why I think you're connecting with such a different audience, like people who definitely probably are not following fitness influencers, you know? You're connecting with a different audience. So, yes. And I definitely think that is our audience. I mean, you bring fashion into everything you do in life, and it's especially appreciated at the gym. So, yeah, again, thank you for being here today. And the purpose of today, as you know, well-being while you're traveling is now kind of a huge part of travel for a lot of people. So I just wanted to get your recommendations for kind of the best places to do with well-being in Lisbon. So starting with fitness, if you could give me 3 studios, what their names are, and what you can get there, that would be great, that you love.
So first of all, I absolutely have to mention Amplify.
Woo.
They've taken such good care of me. They offer 4 main, I would say, like subjects or sports, which
Yes.
is um, spinning, boot camp, which is my favorite, bar, and yoga. It's a very well thought out environment. It's very hip. It's very like well done, basically. There's a place I absolutely fell in love with, which is called Movement Studio.
Ah.
And they do something that's a bit out there and even a bit hard to describe. So it's, as the name suggests, it's all about movement.
Yeah.
But it's movement that that crosses over from dance to sort of Muay Thai kind of jiu-jitsu-y kind of martial arts. There's a place called Connection Studio, which I also really go to a lot, which is where I do most of my yoga kind of stuff.
Okay.
And they do Pilates, they do hot yoga, they also do a bit of dance there, and they do aerial yoga, which is something I'm a huge fan of.
Okay, and what about running? Are you a runner?
I am not as much as I used to be because during COVID I went a bit overboard on the running.
Oh,
So my
did you?
knees- Yeah, I was running like 10 plus K a day.
What?
Um,
What?
Yeah. When I get somehow getting really into something. And
Yeah.
also, it was the only thing you could basically do.
Yes.
I think like most people, running gives you a sense of freedom. So it was perfect for COVID. So yeah, I do run, but I run maybe once, at the most twice a week because my knees can't really handle it.
No, and running is one of the, as you just said, it's so, especially when you're traveling, you throw your running shoes in your bag and that's all you need.
Yeah.
I do know, I mean, if on Instagram, Lisbon Running Community is a run club that I know they meet every Tuesday in Caixa de Sodré. Like,
Yeah, I've
I
seen
am
them.
not, yeah, I don't love run clubs, but it is something you can pick up and join. And
Yeah.
I've also hired people before. I do it frequently when I get to cities in terms of like a way to see the destination. And here there's a guy also on Instagram, Lisbon City Runners, who, yeah, he has all these different routes. So yeah, I think he's good too.
Yeah. No, running in Lisbon is fantastic because you got the river, so you
Yeah.
can just run on the water. It's beautiful.
And the hills, yes.
Yeah, and the hills. It's a good place.
So I know that you have done a trek that is not in Lisbon, but can you tell me about that you did, I think, during COVID as well?
Yes, it's during COVID. It's a stunning trek. So it starts off in Porto Covo officially, which is like an hour and a bit south of Lisbon, and it goes all the way down the south coast and into the Algarve. The whole thing, I think, is a week or maybe 8 or 9 days. I did about
Oh,
6 days. I did
Okay.
6 days of this hike, but it's very well thought out. So you start somewhere. You can do it camping if you're insane,
Oh,
or if you're
God.
very brave because that's an extra weight that you have to carry. Because it's not particularly steep. It's not mountainous, but it's sand. So there's a lot of you're hiking across a lot of beaches. So if you can do it the bougie way, which is you can stay in an Airbnb or a hostel or
Okay.
a situation every night, and then walk during the day. And there's on every day you halfway through the day's hike, you stop off at a village where you can like eat loads of lovely seafood.
Ooh,
So
nice.
it's gorgeous, and you see beaches that are completely inaccessible by car. The only way to get there is walking. So
Oh.
you see these like amazing kind of moonscapes with like rocks and sand and this arid vegetation. It's really, really special.
And I think I told you that I've done part of the Camino
Yes.
in Portugal as well, which I did it once starting from Porto and once starting further down and crossing from Portugal to Spain into Tui, which yeah, I'd highly recommend that as well. It sounds quite similar. It's well marked. You can stay in nice places along the way. Are there any places that you think do really interesting treatments in Lisbon? Like, I think what Chris Corsini has done here with Wheelhouse is really, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I thought he was from LA, but he's Canadian.
He's
We
Canadian, yes.
Canadian. And as you know, he has a salt cave, he has a meditation room. He has treatments that I think are quite reasonably priced. I guess kind of like you, I feel like he falls into the camp of um that place could feel really hippie, but it has an element of style to it, which
Yeah.
makes it kind of accessible to, I think, a different audience. So,
Yes.
yeah. Also on the style, while I have you, I just wanted to pick your brain in terms of shops. Are there any shops, if you could just give me one or two in Lisbon that you think?
That's a tricky one. In terms of Portuguese fashion designers, I'm not sure that there is one right now. The best thing you can do if you're interested in Portuguese design is speak to the designers directly. You could speak to me, but I'm not in Lisbon right now. But go onto the Fashion Week website and you can email them, drop them an email, and I'm sure they'd love to have clients in and make few sales. There's Parlamento.
Okay, yes.
which is in Santos. They stock a couple of Portuguese designers, and they have a good selection of streetwear. I always avoid that shop because I always buy something whenever I go in there. Um, Pop Closet, which is a vintage shop, is one of the best in Lisbon. Just opened a much bigger store in Chiado, and I've heard I haven't been there yet, but I've heard it's also very good.
I was going to say, are there any names to know to kind of shout out in terms of designers, just for people
Yeah.
to look at?
There's me.
Yes.
No, but jokes aside, there's Constance Intrudu, Behen, and Marta Ibu, and Barbara Anastasio. I would say they're
Okay.
the best.
Great. Roselyn Silva dressed me for a couple of the interviews before. And yeah, like you said earlier, I think it's kind of amazing and a real USP that you can email designers here. And, two of them actually invited me to their studio to get
Yeah,
synced.
yeah.
And that doesn't happen everywhere,
No,
that
it
kind
doesn't.
of, yeah, which is great. Anything else you'd say about Lisbon style? Like, people are packing to come here. What would you say is Lisbon style?
It's very relaxed. It's not a city for, as I'm sure you've noticed, heels because
Yes.
that's
Yes.
Axel.
Yeah.
It's very, I say, relaxed, but it's still European elegance, as cringe as that sounds. So it's like relaxed, but making an effort at the same time. Polished, relaxed, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Very understated as well. I would say
Yeah.
like across the board if we were going to generalize. And they're definitely, I mean, everyone's heard the term kind of like Portuguese girly, but this kind of like mixing of patterns, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of mixing of patterns because of the way the city is laid out and the weather, especially at this time of year where it's like hot and cold, hot and cold. It has to be very practical, but also
Yes.
fun and funky.
Yeah.
And Lisbon, like most European cities, is like a massive hodgepodge of different cultures and history and different influences. And I guess you can see that in the people's styles because you have like a huge African community, you have a growing Asian community. So there's lots of things feeding into what Lisbon style is. And so the stereotypical much maligned Portuguese girly style is a reflection of that. It's all about pattern and color, but also comfort. There's no skyscraper platform heels and stilettos because it's impossible.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it is very refreshing in a way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's starting to rain. So I'm going to say go enjoy Rio. I hope you have a really great weekend, the rest of it.
I'm actually off the cycling just now.
Oh, nice. Yes, I'm off to the gym as well, dressed in my workout kit just for you. All right. Well, Magas, thanks again for your time today. And yeah, speak soon.
And now to chat about the Lisbon hotel landscape. I'm going to do that with my Urban Junkies editorial hat on. There are, of course, some great Portuguese hotels in Lisbon. But when it comes to lifestyle properties, there are currently none of the brands that you'd usually see in key European cities. No W, no Edition, nothing from the Ennismore Group, no Mondrian, Delano, Hoxton, SLS. But that is changing. There have been a couple of entrants to the market so far. In 2024, the Lock apartment-style hotels opened, and last summer, Me by Melia launched a Lisbon property. But we're about to see a lot more. Nobu and Six Senses are both launching imminently, and the Standard is excitingly opening soon too. There are also going to be some interesting smaller properties launching. Je ne sais quoi, who are really leading the way on the glossy restaurant offering in Lisbon, are opening a 16-suite property on the main avenue, Avenida Liberdade. And two founders from the Design Hotels Originals group, including Emilio Heredia, owner of the Papaya Playa project in Tulum, and investor in Habitas Global, are bringing their conscious hospitality to Graça with a 13-bedroom property, Casa Noble, this year. It's an exciting time for Lisbon and the surrounding areas, Comporta, Maletes, Costa Caparica, but that's another whole episode. If you're coming to Lisbon soon, though, here are 5 properties we'd recommend. For something historic, it's Terrell Palace, which has a Michelin star restaurant, 2 monkeys, and a British-inspired bar, Duke's Bar. For something by a much-loved Portuguese brand, it's Sublime Lisboa by the Sublime Comporta team. The rooms have terraces with a lot of space, and they have a great classic Italian restaurant, Bairro, with white tablecloths and bar dining. For something luxe, it's the Four Seasons Hotel Ritz, with the one Michelin star restaurant Cura, a great pool bar, and an excellent well-being offering, including a rooftop track. For something with a view, it's the Bairro Alto Hotel. Their rooftop bar is incredible, and we like the restaurant Bahar, which has a great terrace as well. And for something relatively reasonable, Mimo Hotels, which are a member of the Design Hotels, have 2 lifestyle properties in popular neighborhoods, including the historic Alfama and upscale Principe Real. And now, a quick thank you to our supporters. First, the Bairro Alto Hotel. The Bairro Alto Hotel is the perfect place to base your Lisbon stay. Located in the cosmopolitan Bairro Alto, it's incredibly central, while still managing to feel tucked away. Highlights include the rooftop bar with great cocktails and views of the iconic 25th of April Bridge, their mezzanine, which has mid-century modern design and a bar menu, their on-site Portuguese patisserie, and their Asian Portuguese restaurant Bahar, which draws locals and guests alike and has a stunning terrace. We'd also like to thank British Airways. With numerous direct flights daily from London to Lisbon, BA is our choice of carrier when we're making the 2 hours and 50-minute trip. Visit britishairways.com for more information and to book. And lastly, a thank you to Roselyn Silva, a Lisbon-based designer who combines her African-European roots to create her stunning, sophisticated yet fun collections. Visit her studio in Lisbon on Praça da Alegria or view her Instagram for more information. And that concludes our pilot season of Dialed-In Travel. And we look forward to bringing you further episodes soon. Until then, I'm Taryn Ross. Have fun, be safe, and speak to you next time.